When I think about coffee, I can almost hear the comforting gurgle of the pot brewing in the morning, the rich aroma wafting through the air, and that first sip that feels like a warm hug. For many of us, coffee is more than just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, a way to kickstart our day. But let's be real for a moment. While that cup of joe can be a delightful companion, there's a darker side lurking beneath the surface, something we often overlook in our caffeine-fueled haze. Today, let's dive into the hidden dangers of drinking too much coffee. First off, let's talk about caffeine overdose symptoms. Yes, you heard that right, overdose. We often think of caffeine as harmless, but too much of it can lead to some pretty alarming effects. Imagine feeling jittery, anxious, or even experiencing heart palpitations. Those are just a few signs that you might be pushing your coffee consumption to dangerous levels. And let me tell you, it's not just a matter of feeling a bit too wired. Caffeine overdose can escalate to nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases, it can even lead to seizures. It's like your body is waving a red flag saying, "Whoa there, slow down." Now let's unpack the excessive caffeine health risks. We often hear about caffeine's benefits: improved focus, enhanced athletic performance, and even a boost in metabolism. But what we don't often discuss are the long-term consequences of overindulging. Research has shown that high caffeine intake can have a significant impact on your cardiovascular system. It can raise your blood pressure, increase your heart rate, and even contribute to heart disease. If you're someone who loves to sip on several cups throughout the day, you might want to reconsider that habit. Your heart deserves better. And speaking of habits, let's touch on caffeine addiction and withdrawal. It's real, folks. Caffeine can be as addictive as any substance out there. You might not think of it that way because, hey, it's just coffee, right? But when you rely on it to function, to feel normal, that's when it crosses the line. If you've ever tried to cut back, you know the struggle. Headaches, fatigue, irritability. These are just a few of the withdrawal symptoms that can hit you like a freight train. It's a vicious cycle. You drink more to stave off those withdrawal symptoms, and before you know it, you're in deeper than you ever intended. Let's not forget the effects of caffeine on mental health. While a little caffeine can give you a motivational boost, too much can send your anxiety levels skyrocketing. For those already dealing with anxiety or panic disorders, caffeine can be a double-edged sword. It can exacerbate feelings of nervousness, restlessness, and even lead to panic attacks. If you find yourself reaching for that extra cup during stressful times, take a moment to consider how it's affecting your mental well-being. Sometimes, less really is more. And then there's the issue of high caffeine intake and sleep disturbances. We all know that feeling of being wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, regretting that last cup of coffee you had after dinner. Caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours, which means it can linger in your system long after you've had your last sip. If you're struggling to fall asleep or stay asleep, it might be time to evaluate your caffeine habits. Sleep is crucial for our overall health, and sacrificing it for that extra boost of energy can leave us feeling drained in more ways than one. But wait, there's more! Caffeine can also wreak havoc on your digestive system. Ever experienced that uncomfortable feeling after a cup of coffee? You know, the one where your stomach is in knots and you're racing to the bathroom? Caffeine is a known irritant, and for some, it can lead to digestive issues like acid reflux, diarrhea, and even stomach cramps. If you find yourself running to the restroom more often than you'd like, it might be time to reassess your coffee intake. Your gut will thank you. Now, if you're already feeling the effects of caffeine toxicity, you might be wondering what the treatment looks like. In most cases, it's about removing the source of caffeine and allowing your body to recover. Hydration is key. Drinking water can help flush out the caffeine and alleviate some symptoms. In severe cases, medical attention may be necessary, but for most of us, simply cutting back and giving our bodies a break can do wonders. Long-term effects of caffeine consumption are another area we need to consider. While moderate coffee consumption has been linked to some health benefits, excessive intake can lead to chronic issues. From increased anxiety and insomnia to potential heart problems. The risks can stack up over time. It's essential to be mindful of how much we're consuming on a daily basis. A little self-awareness can go a long way in preserving our health. So, how do we start reducing caffeine intake? It's not as daunting as it sounds. One effective strategy is to gradually decrease your consumption rather than going cold turkey. You could start by swapping out 1 cup of coffee for herbal tea or decaf. Another approach is to set a daily limit for yourself. Maybe aim for 2 cups instead of 5. And don't forget to listen to your body. If you notice signs of anxiety or sleep disturbances, take it as a cue to cut back. In conclusion, while coffee can be a delightful part of our daily routine, it's crucial to recognize the hidden dangers that come with excessive consumption. From caffeine overdose symptoms to long-term health risks, it's time to take a step back and evaluate our relationship with this beloved beverage. So the next time you reach for that cup, ask yourself, is it really worth it? Your body will thank you for it.